always come back to it.
Yeah.
We have to go.
We'll come back to it on December 4th. I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, being Chapter 231, Public Law of the 1975 laws of the state of New Jersey. The Planning Board Secretary has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the Planning Board of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2024 and has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located in the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source and the Star Ledger and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in Borough Hall. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regards to this meeting. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Paserno?
Here.
Mr. David?
Here.
Mr. Clementi?
Here.
Mr. Mazzio?
Here.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Here.
And Mr. Scuderi?
Here. Okay. Is there a motion for the approval of the minutes of October 10th?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Clementi, seconded by Mr. Mazzio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any communications, Kathy?
Yes, Chairman. We received a resignation email from Stephen Dunn. He was a planning board alternate 3 member. And we also received a letter from Mr. Randall Peach rescinding site plan application 23-004, which is 470 Boulevard.
Okay. I have to ask 2 questions to to our attorney. Do we need a motion accepting the resignation for Mr. Dunn, or is it just a letter of resignation?
He's resigned. We can say we're sorry to see him go, but we don't need a formal
Okay.
application.
On item number 2, the letter from Randall Peach, earlier in the work session, we talked about going into closed session. I am going to remove that from my thought process. I'd rather not do that at this time. If you'd like to read the letter, you can. So I think because this is a forum where we should read the letter, go right ahead.
Okay.
What is it?
No. This was addressed to you and the board. I don't know if we have to read the whole thing out loud, but it's up to you.
Well, we asked earlier, and Kevin said it could be read out loud because it is a public document at this point. Am I incorrect?
He said no.
I said don't read it? You said don't read
He
it?
said it doesn't have to be.
No, I was asking, Mr. Chairman, whether
I stand corrected?
Yeah, whether we should, because I wanted to know what it said. So at the time, I was like, okay, if we're not going to get copies of it, then let's read it so that everyone can hear it. Then we learned that we could all get copies of it and that we wouldn't read it out loud. So that's kind of...
I think at some point, the issue needs to be discussed, the issues raised needs to be discussed probably in closed session, given the tenor of the letter. And secondly, if they're not moving ahead with it, we just shouldn't let it sit. We should tonight make a motion that this be dismissed without prejudice, just so, he said they're going to withdraw it at this time or some language like that. We should have it, we should dismiss it without prejudice. That stops all the time, and it's not sitting on a shelf someplace waiting to surprise us. We're going to dismiss it. If they want to come back, they come back.
Well, then maybe we should read
Rich,
it.
should I read it? It's up to you.
Well, I'm going to do this. We have a planning board attorney that is supposed to advise us in the best interest. Whether we think it should be read or not should be read would then become a personal issue. I would take the legal advice on whether you think this should be read.
At the moment, no. No, I don't. Not at the moment.
Okay, so it's not going to be read. And again, I am going to reserve the right now. I don't think we should go into closed. I think it should be posted as far as our minutes concerned and do it the right way, even though you're telling me that we can go into closed, but I'd rather not do that at this time. Okay?
We discuss it in workshop.
Yeah.
Okay.
In regards to Mr. Dunn, Chairman, if I may, it's been past practice of this board to either by resolution or letter thank members for their service to the board and the borough, and the board may wish to consider having our attorney draft such a resolution. your action, if you like.
Pardon me,
What have we done with other?
We have never done that.
never done it.
It doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. It
Doesn't mean we shouldn't do it.
should do it. I'm just saying we have never done it.
It's been done in the past. You've been here a couple of years.
7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's been done in the past. It's up to
Okay,
you.
it could.
Well, it sounds like a very good practice to do. Is there a value to that, Mr. Rego?
I think it's just a,
No, not a value in spirit, as value in cash.
no.
No? So you would send out the letter, we wouldn't see a bill for it, because if that's the case, I could also have Kathy send out a letter from the board stating,
That's probably the way to do it.
Yeah, that's,
Like,
I don't want
thank
it
you
to
for
come
your service.
from me, I want it to come from the board. Rich can sign it
Okay.
on behalf of the board.
I absolutely think that maybe it's a great advice, but rather than you not getting paid for that.
No,
we could
I
actually
wouldn't charge.
Have Kathy write the letter who's already being paid, hopefully every month.
What'd you say? Right there.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about, do we need to do anything else with Mr. Peach's letter? No? And we also,
When will we need that motion
To,
to,
I think we should agree to a motion and a second to dismiss this the RECA application without prejudice. And I can do a resolution to that effect. I just want it acknowledged on the record for them to say, we're just going to pull it this time and leave it like that. It shouldn't be done that way. We need to take an action saying, fine, you're not going to proceed, we'll have it dismissed, you can come back when and if you're ready.
okay.
Something like that.
And if you would like, we could, I don't know if this is the time for it, but we could put on our agenda for the next meeting that we could go into closed session for that as well. Okay.
should we make a motion tonight for
Yeah.
this? Who wants?
Does anybody want to follow up on?
I'll make the motion as per Mr. Reyes for what he said.
Motion made by Mr. Mazzio. Second. Second by Mr. Clemente. Roll call?
Mr. Paterno?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Clementi?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzio?
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Yes.
Mr. Scuderi?
I'll have a basic resolution for next meeting, basically dismissing it without prejudice.
Thank you, Mr. Rego. Okay, next item is the resolution, application 23-003, NATC Donuts. Mr. Rego, you put a resolution together, I see?
Yes, I put a resolution together, forwarded it to Kathy. Also, a copy went to Joe Caparo, the applicant's attorney. Joe, I received today from Joe some very minor modifications to my resolution. He sent those revisions to me and to Kathy, and he also provided us with my resolution, clean copy, with his corrections included. So we have a clean copy that I wrote 99%, Joe's comments are in here, so if the board sees fit, we will adopt the resolution that came to the board from me through Joe Caparo.
Is that the one we're holding in our hands, or do you have something different?
Let me see.
This is the one you...
This is the one, it should, in the caption, it should have
Okay.
minor subdivision approval in the caption. I have lot line adjustment, Joe, and the heaviest thing Joe did was put minor subdivision approval. Everything else is either a typo or a word out of place, but you have the final resolution that I did that Joe tweaked.
So there's no asterisk or no highlight on this, but
I have
I think I've seen this.
I asked Kathy to send both so you could see, but this, the one I'm holding, it's up top, it's clean, and if it says minor subdivision approval, this is the one that we're acting on. That one, yes.
okay.
And it's, if you read mine, this is 99.99% the same thing.
So I see the one you have in your left hand, it looks like it has some blue
Yeah.
stuff in it. Would the board like to see or hear the corrections that was made by Mr. Paparo that they agreed upon, because we haven't seen that.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just run down it, if it's the instead of he?
I don't care.
We don't care about that.
What do you have in your...
Meat and potatoes.
Okay, what do you have in your hand?
That's the clean document from Mr.
I don't have any.
It's on the phone.
You guys don't have it?
Oh, okay.
You want this? This
No,
is,
if Lou's gonna read it, right?
Well, let me just read, okay, in my resolution, I'll read mine and then what
Bless you.
In my original resolution, up top, I had use variance, site plan approval, dimensional variances, and lot line adjustment. Joe deleted he kept lot line adjustment, but he put minor subdivision, which means the lot line adjustment. So he put minor subdivision up top, and
and minor subdivision, he put it.
in the second line of the resolution where I said lot line application has been filed, he added minor subdivision approval as well, so that's the only thing on page one. The second page, he added again minor subdivision approval.
Okay.
Third page, when I talked about the walk-up window, he added vestibule, which is fine.
Why vestibule? Walk-up window and vestibule is two different things.
I linked that to a church, or I had a walk-up window. I think he wanted it to mean that there's a little enclosure that you go into. I don't know, but he said vestibule. Whatever's on the plans.
Yeah, because it wasn't a walk-up window, it was, you
can go in. Yeah.
Area.
So it's almost like a bank where you go in and you go there?
Yeah.
Like the inside.
I think to me it's like,
That's a vestibule.
Yeah, that's, which is fine with me.
That's how the plan read?
Yes. Yep.
I talked about pervious pavers being provided along the edge, the southerly portion of the Dunkin' building. He said it was a multifamily building, the pavers. Does that make sense to you, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we did there. Also on page 3, I listed the variances that he needed, one of which was a use variance for I had residential use on the first floor of the apartment building. He changed that to a use variance for the multifamily building, which is fine. I mean, it's either way. He had minor site plan, minor subdivision approval language on that page. Page 4. I had the site as 0.476 acres in size. Joe said it's 0.46 acres in size. It's
What did you have it as?
0.476. Joe had 0.46.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. On the apartment property, I thought the testimony was 2 driveways. Joe had, there's one two-way driveway coming in and then right's going out. So I think that's the way the plans
For Dunkin' Donuts or
for the apartment
the
building.
apartment? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
It was, that's right.
Nothing on that page. On page 6, I had Dunkin' drive-throughs. Joe put a dash between drive and through. So that's...
I didn't need to mention that.
Well, I just want you to know. Again, he mentions minor subdivision approval.
On page 7?
On page 7, he had that. I had in paragraph 13, right turn only, I had exists, and Joe changed it to exits, which is my fault. So it's exits.
Okay. What's down below in blue?
The applicant's, subdivision approval again. With the drive-through vestibule, on page 8, he adds that language. On page 9, minor subdivision, he adds that twice, and that's it. So it's basically minor subdivision, vestibule, those are the only changes. There's nothing involving our conditions, which I always feel with something like this, if they start changing conditions, then I start to look a little bit closer, but there's nothing changing the conditions. And that's it.
Anybody have a problem with that?
No, well, I don't have a problem with it, but if we have complicated resolutions like this, maybe it would be better if we sent it to you sent it to the attorney like a week or a week and a half
Okay.
ahead of the meeting.
Well, I sent it to you.
As opposed, yeah,
Okay.
the other one you
Fine,
sent me.
fine.
But
I sent you
the
my
green
own-
one I just got today.
Yeah, I just got it too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, if the process could be started a week earlier so that there's, so
Yeah, well, I had it.
that everybody can
Okay.
get a clean
Either,
copy.
well, I always send it to the client first, via the chairman, and I always send it to you, any resolution, you, Rich,
But I'm
and
just
Greg
saying
get
a
it
week
first.
earlier in case there's
All
changes
right.
like this.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion made by Mr. Bazio, seconded by everybody else out there. Mr. Ladati, roll call, please.
Mr. Paterno?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Mr. Clementi?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzio?
Yes.
Mr. Ladowdy?
Yes.
And Mr. Scuderi?
Yes.
Everyone did a good job on that.
Very good. Comments for the good of the board? Anyone?
I had a meeting today with the fire department, with the Onyx, with the developer for CoreWeave.
Okay, the new person that's coming in. Does everybody know who he's talking about?
No.
You want to explain that, Mike?
TA11 is becoming a data center. So they wanted to go over access roads they're putting in. They're putting in like 30 generators, chillers, all that. It really is a terrorist target at this point because it's a major, it's 285,000 square feet of data center. So when everybody wonders where the cloud is, it's now in Kevin. So that is a terrorist target. They called the fire department to go over access roads, things like that. They never really called the police department for certain things. So just giving it to the police department, we had a little bit of a discussion, and I think when we have, if we can send the police chief our agenda also, this way he can see things if there's something he wants to be present at. The fire department as well, but obviously it's me, so I see it anyway. Just because there's things like Dunkin' Donuts application, he didn't know we were hearing it. There might be some police involved with traffic or this and that, so I thought I would ask the board if that's even.
I thought that was like standard practice, that all of our professionals have access to
They're online.
the cases.
The agenda's
Okay, well then,
online.
the chief
agenda's
just
online,
needs to
but
go.
I understand, send it to him.
Okay, we can't send it.
I can send it. I'm
Okay,
saying, but they
I
are
didn't
online.
know if that's proper to do, but I would bring it up in the meeting, because he wants to be involved if there's other, Paul's involved in everything. He's around town, so if there's something he'd want to come to.
Yeah, again, all the appropriate code officials should, including the chief and fire chief, should have access to any applications that we get.
There's only one problem, and I believe that all the code officials should know what's going on in our town. One time, we had a situation that we have to be careful what comments they may make prior to hearing the case, because that can really be a deterrent, or, we have to be careful with the nomenclature that comes back, typical to what happened at the Dunkin' Donuts, on an opinion of what should happen. So maybe there should be some kind of dialogue. Am I well-paced there? Remember what happened there with the...
But this may be a different thing, Chair, in that you're just sharing the agenda, not
agenda.
asking for comment.
Okay, but we have to be careful that they have it. If they have something, maybe they could come up and that could be a closed session or something, because it's all AI over there, correct? And it is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I found.
They're listening.
Yeah, because
Like I was in
there's just some very unique challenges with the fire department.
I bet. Yeah, I think that's good, Mike, sure.
And Chairman, all of the department heads are asked for comment at the application stage of every application for development.
Okay, then it's a good thing.
Well, that never comes to the fire department, unfortunately.
Well, it goes,
The fires,
they answer.
we don't get, I'm the chief, I never get anything as the fire chief. It probably goes to the fire subcode official.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with the fire department, that's construction only.
It should go to you.
Yeah, it
Are
should.
you sure about the agenda?
No, the,
Application.
Comments.
Oh, the applications.
I've never,
Oh.
I've been going on my third year as fire chief, and I've never, I mean, I get it from here, so it's, but I've never seen anything, and I don't think he gets some plans with traffic and stuff, but I don't know if he gets everything or not.
Okay.
So you mean when the applications come into the building department, you should be on that?
I don't know how other towns do it, but other towns do get plans, they do, you know, I see in Mountainside, the building department walking plans down, handing them to a police chief when I work in Mountainside. I don't know that Mountainside gets it to the fire department, I don't know.
How many departments are there that would need it? Yes, sir?
When an application is deemed complete and scheduled for a date, the applicant comes in with 21 copies, so you've got X amount for the board, and then the rest of them are supposed to be dispersed to police, fire, construction, building, whatever subcode is appropriate. There is a list somewhere in that.
Did they do, I don't know if building does that.
I know, in a couple of
But
my...
I don't know now if they do it or not.
There is a
Did you
list.
find out?
Do you think they,
So why don't we just make that part of what we do going forward?
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. I thought that they were getting that information early on. I do know that, I didn't know how many departments get it, but I thought you were definitely getting it. I thought the police department were getting it, and the Board of Health were getting it. Yes.
Who would be responsible for getting those plans to the different departments?
The administrator.
Yeah, the administrator, yeah.
And I work with boards where as part of the applications and the memos that we see, the board members see, are the 4 memos: fire department, Board of Health if necessary, construction official, police, and they have comments. Most of them are, we don't have a problem. But sometimes a fire truck needs to get access and this and that, but, so we do see those.
so Kevin, you just think the construction official, the Board of Health, the police, and the fire department, is the fire subcode, or the plumber, or the
There is,
electrical guy?
there's a list in the ordinance, I'm looking it up.
Do you have an environmental commission or no?
I don't think so. We don't have an environmental commissioner, right?
No, we do not. I'll share that with you, Kath, so you can...
Can you share that with me too, Kevin, please?
Absolutely, Ken.
Okay. Can we move on?
Yeah, no, well, just one more.
sure.
The good of
Sure.
the board, I guess, and it's basically just to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, since we won't be meeting again until December.
Okay, and happy Thanksgiving and all. Thank you very much. That's nice. Okay. Is there a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second by Mr. David, second by Mr. Scuderia, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone want to move to close the meeting to the public?
Seeing no one in the audience, I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Closed by Mr. David, second by Mr. Mazzio. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn?
Motion made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Cladati. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have a good night and a very Thanksgiving
Yeah.
to all.
You-
Thank you, you did a good job over there, Leon.